Welcome to Newton Athletic Park in Surrey, BC, on the traditional ancestral and unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples. You're watching the Junior British Columbia Ultimate Championships. This live stream is presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Now joined by my color commentator, Chris Cannon. My name is Jagaraj Lully. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. We've reached the summit, the final of the 2025 BC Junior Ultimate Championships. We'll see the Open Division crown a champion as Dino will take on Canyon in a matchup for all the marbles. Who is BC's ultimate team? Now, Chris, this should be an interesting contest between two teams who have very much earned their rightful spot to be here.
Interesting is not the word for it. These two teams are definitely this is the game people have been wanting to see. Canyon and Dino are the top two teams in BC. Last year at Nationals, Dino placed first and Canyon placed fourth. Canyon has actually a stronger team this year than they had last year. 2 weeks ago at the local Misfit Cup, Dino won, but they only beat Canyon by 3 points. So Canyon is out for blood here. Dino is out to take that first seed again at Nationals, which they've had the last couple of years, and won Nationals the last couple of years. So huge game here, a lot on the line for both these teams.
Well, Canyon looked really good in their first matchup, their semifinal matchup, which was a big win for Canyon. And this is my first time getting to see this Dino team this weekend as they played on the other field during the semifinals. So I'm very excited to see how this one kicks off, and we are off and underway here at Surrey's Newton Athletic Park. So Canyon will now begin with the disc. It ends up to Zachary Bernardi to Eddie Zhao. Zhao will play that one forward, back in the hands of James Ford Kelsey will be my player to watch in this game. He'll drop it over to Zachary Bernardi, flicks that one forward with a forehand. Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly played it forward, and a big collision there at near the end zone, and this will be staying here with Canyon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the result of that call is going to be, but so far, watching them come out, you can see that the defense is not going to let anything deep. They're allowing the enders, allowed 4 or 5 straight up the field passes. They're going to have to play tighter deep than that if they want to win this game.
So Canyon will retain possession of the disc. Here is Nate Bernardi. As Bernardi will get this one back. And now Canyon just looking to get it to the end zone. Eddie Zhao has it, plays it back to Bernardi. Nate Bernardi back to Eddie Zhao. Zhao goes to the backhand, plays that one forward here to Finley Gray. Gray to the end zone, and that is intercepted.
That was some good, high-paced but patient play in front of the end zone, but then getting end zone eyes right there and trying to squeeze it in did not work for Canyon, and Dino's going to have the disc.
Yeah, Dino indeed forces the turnover there, and Dino will now get their first chance to work the offense here against Canyon. As you see there, Lawrence Petulina goes for the long huck back down the other way. It's caught! The one-handed catch! Incredible there by Nikhil Miller. Miller drops it back. Here's Gavin Tang. Tang looks towards the end zone. Gavin Tang is intercepted, so all for naught. Was that incredible huck?
That was a terrific huck and a great poachy D right there in the end zone. The guy who got the D was not on that man, but he saw that the cutter was coming in, took up his position in front of him and got that D. Real smart play from that receiver, or from that defender.
Here's Nate Bernardi. He'll play that one now to the right side, and we had a call here prior to, so Canyon will resume play at the previous point, and now that one is just misplayed as James Ford Kelsey couldn't pick up possession. So Dino will get the disc back.
Yeah, it's hard to catch those 5-foot lasers when they're right to your chest like that. That's a lot of force coming in there, and it's hard to get a grip on that. So unfortunate turnover.
So Dino will take this one as they still have possession. A long huck set right towards the end zone. This is incomplete. It hits the umbrella on the far side as we have a lot of spectators watching this game. A good crowd on hand, I should say, taking in the final of this tournament.
Those are 2 big hucks coming out of the gate for Dino. That first one, there was a straight-up mark, which is meant to prevent hucks. That's why it was a big, wide outside in, going outside the field and coming back in and landing on top of the receiver. Dino is leaning on the receivers, just those one-on-one matchups, just putting it up in the air and assuming the receiver's going to get it. That last one was out of bounds at the back of the end zone.
The forward throw is complete. Devin O'Reilly flicks it now to the right side. As getting it back here is Devin O'Reilly. He'll elect to get a pass through to Eddie Zhao. Zhao will look for a long pass back down the other way. Finley Gray is able to catch it at the end zone. And Finley Gray has opened the scoring for Canyon.
That was an insane huck. That's Canyon coming right back with the first huck of their own, and it was down the midfield over the right shoulder of the receiver and right over the right shoulder of the defender. Terrific throw there and a great catch under pressure by the receiver. That puts Canyon up on Dino 1-0.
Let's take a look at the replay right here. The long huck ends up finding Finley Gray, who positions himself in place to catch it with both his hands and is able to safely catch that at the end zone. And Canyon is leading Dino by a 1-zip score.
You know, getting that first point for Canyon is huge for them. Again, they lost to Dino by 3 points 2 weeks ago at Misfit Cup, and this is the bear on their back. Canyon desperately wants to win this game and go into Nationals with the number 1 seed for the first time, taking that privilege from Dino, who's had it for the last 2 years. So opening up the scoring is big for Canyon's morale.
We have a team from Vancouver, that being Dino, and we have a team from North Vancouver, that being Canyon. North Vancouver is out here to show Vancouver that we are the elite. Well, I'm from South Vancouver, so I have no bias in this matchup, really. It's North Vancouver versus Vancouver, so there's no bias for me here, but I think, to your point, Chris, that was a big confidence booster here for Canyon, getting that first point.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of bias here, but it's towards both teams, because I know I've coached so many of these kids, I've coached some of these coaches, and just such the level of expertise in the youth community here has just gone up exponentially over the last few years. It's truly amazing athletes here.
Jack Ponton picked that one up for Dino as he'll play it back down here to David Zia, and this one's back to Jonathan Chua. Chua will drop it back here to Jack Ponton. Ponton gets it for Dino as Ponton drops it back here to Dom McKinney. McKinney has it. Great backhanded throw here forward for Santiago Velasquez. Velasquez will take this one, just flips it forward, finding Dom McKinney. McKinney right up there on him is Canyon's Finley Gray, but he's able to get this one back here to Jack Ponton. Ponton will drop it back. Fakes it out for Finley Gray in front of Finley Gray, and now the disc is here into the hands of David Zia. Zia goes for the long huck to the end zone, is incomplete. A bit of gamesmanship earlier on in this contest here as we saw McKinney trying to fake out Finley Gray, and that is all for naught as it's still 1-0 Canyon.
Both these teams are leaning on their athleticism, their one-on-one matchups. They're going to continue doing this throughout the game. They're the two most athletic teams out here, and they both know it. And they are going to be leaning on their one-on-one matchups all day. So you're probably going to see a lot of hucks when they think they've got any offense thinks they have an advantage downfield, or even if they're seeing 50-50, they'll be putting up those hucks. It's going to be a real high-flying game.
1-0 is still the score as Canyon leads Dino in the 2025 BC Ultimate Open Final. The disc is now in the hands here of Nate Bernardi. As Bernardi will take it, he'll send it to Zachary Bernardi, but we have a collision between two bodies out here. That was a real collision and not what you want to see, especially in a game of this high stakes. Both players seem to be down and in some discomfort. Let's take a look at the replay right here on how all that came about. Finley Gray, they just did not see where the other person was going. Both of their eyes were away from one another, and just a collision that catches both of them off guard. Just an unfortunate collision, and now we'll see the first aid kit being brought out as well.
Yeah, it's not something you want to see.
And it was not a light collision either, Chris. That was both guys running into each other with full force. They they were definitely not seeing where they were going, and they end up just colliding into one another. And obviously we hope nothing but the best for all of our athletes competing at this weekend's tournament, and we hope that both of them will be okay.
Yeah, you saw that Dino player coming back under the D. He was guarding the deep there, and the cutter went back in, and the Dino player turned on a dime and shot back in, and unfortunately caught one of the cutters coming back across the field. So, yeah, both of them, one of them looking at the defender, the other one looking for the disc down the line, and unfortunately just crossed paths there. We hope they're okay.
Yeah, Don McKinney does seem to be okay. He gets back up, and the other number 11, Corbin Young, seems to be okay as well. Both number 11s. I see both of them will be okay, as we see Don McKinney as well as Corbin Young. Young just makes his way off of the field and will now take a bit of a seat to kind of rest himself. And there you see McKinney as well, just shakes it off and gets back out there. And knowing these players as well, Chris, it's a chance to be the best team in the province. They don't want to miss out on this game for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll see play being resumed here as Finley Gray has the disc. He'll flip it forward with a bit of a forehand throw, and this one is slid on the backhand, finding to Nate Bernardi. Bernardi sends it to his left. Here is Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly drops it back to Zachary Bernardi. And now a left-handed backhanded throw. What a defensive effort there by Rashawn Thillon as he's able to force the turnover. And now the disc is in the hands of Jack Ponton. Ponton gets it through to McKinney. Nice to see McKinney out there still battling away for his team. McKinney fakes the throw, goes to the forehand, now sends it to his right side to Ponton. Ponton sends it across to Ezekiel Centeno, I believe that was. As the disc now comes out to the right side, Ryan Wong controls for Dino. But they're going to replay this one as a violation was called. So getting it back here is Calvin McCullough. McCullough plays it right down the middle, and it's caught at the left side. Here is Jack Ponton. Ponton looks for an opening, goes to his forehand. Smart pass. As near the 10, we can see the disc being exchanged. It's now back to McKinney. McKinney sends a pass to the left side. Ponton has it right at the end zone line. Sends it in, and we have a score. Dino has tied the game at 1. As David Zia is able to get to the end zone. Dino knotted the game at 1.
Yeah, you can see McKinney. He sits on the disc when he gets it. He's looking for those hucks and not seeing them, but very smart by not throwing it away and just working it back down to the middle of the field. They get over to the sideline, and that was a really nice little backhand up the field, little air bounce on it, floated up a little bit with an OI. Get to the sideline, and then they moved it back across the field. Very smart, very patient at the end zone, and that's really what you want to see. You don't want to be what I call end zone eyes. You don't want to see players throwing it away right at the end zone. You want to have 100% throws there, and that was very smart to walk it in like that.
So now this gives both teams a chance to rehydrate and get their feet set. As we'll see the pull here, and Canyon will be on the receiving end. A 1-1 game, and this is the type of close matchup we very much expected in the final as well, Chris, between two very good teams.
Yeah, these teams could go, I mean, you could be seeing a preview of the gold medal game at Nationals. I mean, the East Coast has some really good teams. Last year at Nationals, Dino placed first and Canyon placed fourth. Canyon's a much stronger team this year. They could... if they win this game, they'll go into Nationals with the number 1 seed. If they lose, Dino will go in the number 1 seed. But for BC teams, it's such a strong program here. You will probably see at Nationals the top 3 of the top 4 seeds, at least 2 of the top 4 seeds will be BC teams. It'll be these 2 teams.
And that just speaks to the growth of BC Ultimate as a whole.
Yeah, it's a terrific organization out here. It's really well led. British Columbia Ultimate and Vancouver Ultimate League, which has a lot of hand in developing these players. They do a terrific job, and they grow the numbers and really support all teams at all levels.
Well, I myself, as we see a long huck thrown down to the other end, here's a chance. Oh, what a catch! Incredible! James Ford-Kelsey. He is all hype and then some. An incredible catch with the one hand, and Canyon's retaking the lead.
That was terrific, and that was really good D in the end zone. You can't do any better than that. The D player was lined up for that, but that O player just really did a good little shuck and jive move, moved the hips of the defender and got up in the air over him. Amazing catch. Like I said, these teams are both going to be airing it all day, looking for those one-on-one matchups and just thinking that they have the more athletic player in the area there.
Mike, wow, that has to be maybe up there for the play of the tournament. Incredible catch with the one hand by James Ford Kelsey. And for Canyon, what a big confidence booster scoring the way that they did there. A long huck, and it somehow ends up being caught with one hand by one of your best players. And, I mean, jumping back to us talking about the growth of BC Ultimate as well. I went to David Thompson Secondary School, and that is a school that is very famous for their Ultimate. They take their Ultimate very seriously out there as well. And I know for yourself, you said you've coached many students, many players of Ultimate out in the Vancouver area too. So, I mean, who knows better than you about the growth of Ultimate out there?
Yeah, Vancouver Ultimate League has the largest Ultimate membership in the world. It's been up over 7,000. It went down a bit during the pandemic because they had to close play for a couple of years, but it's back up over 6,000 now. And like I said, VUL and the British Columbia Ultimate Society are so well run, and they do so many programs, bringing a lot of new players into the game and developing skilled players too. So you see a lot of these players on national teams, and you'll see a lot of these players in the field right now. You'll see them on U24 teams in the future.
So there's the pull. It ends up out of play, and that is where Dino will begin their possession. Ponton has it. As Ponton will send that one up to McKinney at the right side. McKinney holds on to possession of the disc. He'll swing it now to Ponton. Ponton looks for options, drops it back down to the right side. There's a pass sent through for Jonathan Chua. He'll drop it back to Ponton. Ponton's move. Yeah, smart pass to McKinney here. Smooth pass. McKinney thought about the huck. Instead goes forehand and gets the pass through here to Rashawn Dillon. Dillon gets this one back. He's being watched closely as time continuing to tick away, being counted away by the marker. Dillon has to hoist one up. And, oh, so close. But a very good pass attempt there. And Canyon is able to get the disc back.
That was a really nice attempt to get that disc. It was a high stalk out there to throw it away there. Fantastic defense there from Canyon, really shutting down those Dino cutters and making them throw it away.
So now that is where Canyon will resume possession as they'll get it back. Here is Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly has this one. Goes to the backhand. Here's Finley Gray. Gray, smart pass with the forehand, and it stays in. Here's James Haywood. Haywood plays that one up. Nate Bernardi drops it back. A long huck back down the other way, and this is incomplete. Great defensive arm there by number 95, Santiago Velasquez, to intercept that pass opportunity for Canyon and force a turnover.
Yeah, I think that was a lefty backhand huck, and that was a beauty, too. There's not a lot of places you could put it there, and that was about where you could put it, but that was just terrific, that second defender coming in there and getting there right on the spot.
Here's Turo Calawart, as we have I believe we have a stoppage of play called, and both teams come to agreement, so it will stay here with Turo Calawart. And it is Corbin Young with possession now, or check that, that's Don McKinney with possession now for Dino. I'm just waiting to find a resolution, and I think both teams have come to a resolution.
Yeah, the Canyon player called a push off right there, wanted to reset.
Yeah, McKinney tried to drop it back, and there's a turnover near the end zone. Massive opportunity here for Canyon to get another, and I think the team realizes that along the sidelines. So here's a throw to the end zone. It's caught, and successful second score of the game here for Finley Gray.
That is a huge morale booster for Canyon. So far, this has been a game of field It's a game of how far you can put it before you turn it over. You don't want to turn it over in front of your own end zone. So this has been a game of possession and how much space you can get it down the field. Turn it over in front of your own end zone is the worst thing worst thing to do. You'd rather huck it and bury it deep if you're going to turn it over, so that you make the other team earn it back up the field. But then it comes down to how many turnovers per point each team does. So if you can evaluate your opponent, see how many turnovers per point they do, then you kind of have an opportunity to figure out your game plan based on whether or not you need to be chilly with it and walk it all the way down and not turn it over if the opposing team never turns it over, or if the opposing team, if they have to go the full length of the field and they tend to turn it over once or twice per point, then kind of gives you permission to put some nice big hucks out there. So fortunately, Canyon didn't have to face that on this one. They got it right at the end zone, right where they wanted it, and just a nice, easy score. And that's a huge boost for Canyon's morale. Up 3-1 now over Dino. Not a score you would generally expect to see between these two teams.
This gives me a chance to mention some of our partners. We're starting on with VC Ultimate. VC Ultimate is Vancouver Ultimate's preferred apparel provider. VC Ultimate has been producing the world's best ultimate apparel since 1998 locally in Canada. Featuring recycled materials and gender-free fits, VC puts quality and community first. Find high-quality apparel, discs, and accessories for yourself, or equip your team with custom gear at vcultimate.com. So we get set here for the pull as Canyon will throw the disc down to the other way. And we'll see how Dino can respond as Dino is down 3-1. So the disc now ends up back here with Dino at their own end zone. It's Jack Ponton. Ponton has it. And out of the right side, Ponton still holds on to it. Plays that one forward as Ponton sends it right down the middle. He'll play it here now to Rashawn Dillon. Dillon back to Ponton. Ponton sends that one forward. Here's Ezekiel Centeno. Centeno has it. Back for Dom McKinney. McKinney with a long huck here near the end zone. It's a chance, and it's rejected. Finley Gray says, not on my watch, rejects that scoring chance for Dino, and it's still 3-1.
That was a really nice D by Finley Gray. I'm not sure which of those two defenders had that player, but they were both on it. They both spotted it, and they both closed in really nice. If Finley didn't get it, his teammate probably would have.
So now Canyon will get the disc right back. Here's Gray, and there's an opportunity on the break, but Gray leaves that one wide. It's going to be back here with Dino. So Jack Ponton will get possession back, and Dino's going to have a chance to rectify that wrong of the last possession. He'll send it forward to David Zia. Zia tries to drop it back. It ends up with Jack Ponton. Ponton. Now to Rashawn Dillon. Dillon has a great little pass, a low pass there to Jonathan Chua. Chua, he'll drop it back to Ponton. Ponton plays it forward. And a great flip of the disc there, right down the middle. Forehand pass for McKinney. Here's Dom McKinney. McKinney goes backhand and throws that one up successfully to Jonathan Chua. Chua give and go with McKinney. McKinney plays it down to the left side. Zia to the end zone, and that is not quite out the end zone as both feet weren't there. This one is, however, as Ponton plays it to Jonathan Chua, and Dino's back within one.
Yeah, real nice play by both teams. You can tell that each team, their defenders, are really focused on those cutters. They are playing really as tight as they can and picking up the brackets when they can, picking up the switches to help each other out on the deeps there. But the mark is what I'm looking at. Both teams are doing straight up marks. There's generally a mark you want to do to stop the huck rather than force it to a sideline or force it to the middle. And generally, if you are throwing a straight up mark like that, you're trying to turn those hucks from nice long flat hucks to kind of outside in, so they're a little harder to throw, a little harder to catch. But that's not stopping the hucks at all. The hucks are going. But what I'm surprised to see is that once they're getting down to the end zone, they're not adjusting that mark to push him towards a sideline or push him towards a defender in the space. They're just doing this straight up. So that makes it a lot harder for the defender in the end zone to guard both sides of their person, because they just got to get open by a couple of inches and float the disc out to them, and it's a score.
Quickly, while we have the chance, we'll tell you about our friends at London Pub. The London Pub is Main Street's best venue for sports, bar games, and gathering with your team. See their menu and location at londonpub.com. Again, the London Pub down on Main Street. You can check their location at londonpubvan.com. So Canyon will get this one back off of the pull, and they'll look to set their offense right away. Devin O'Reilly has it. O'Reilly flips it forward here for Eddie Zhao. Zhao. And now out to the near side. Here's James Haywood. Haywood drops it back. Pass forward is completed here to Eddie Zhao. Zhao flips it on the forehand. Sends it up ahead to Turo Calawart. Calawart goes to the backhand. Oh, he's able to lose his defender. A pass set now to the end zone. Zhao has it, and he scores. Eddie Zhao goes showtime as Canyon's up 4-2.
That was a fantastic bit of movement by Canyon. They walked it down the line the whole way. They didn't have to swing it. They didn't have to move it down the middle of the field. And this is Dino going one-on-one and saying, we're just going to let you have that under because we're going to beat you in those matchups. We're going to force those ones down the sideline there. You force throws down the sideline. Those are lower percentage throws. Those are 80%, 90% throws because it's just a tighter space. You got a bit of wind here, but Canyon did not fail. Every one of those throws is right in the hands of the cutter. The defense wasn't quite on it, and all they could do was contain them along the sideline. And generally, it's a really good strategy because you don't get a lot of space down the sideline. They're harder to make. And if you just stack those numbers on top of each other, you force them down the sideline, it's like a 70 or 80% throw followed by a 70 or 80% throw instead of those 90, 100% throws through the middle. So you want to force those as a defensive unit, and statistically you will get your D. But that didn't happen there. Canyon just masterfully moved it right down the sideline and bolted it in.
And now, Chris, at this point, as you see our crowd here, great crowd on hand taking in the action. Full packed house here at Newton Athletic Park, taking in the final of the 2025 BC Ultimate Championship game. And now, if you're Canyon here, Chris, how will you be feeling? Because considering that they're up 2 against a very good team on the other side in Dino.
Yeah, you're feeling great. Dino is a very athletic team. They're very scripted. They're very disciplined. Canyon runs more on themes. They run more on how you think when you're out there as opposed to what script you follow. Dino, although they're scripted and they go through one-on-one matchups one after the other, the players still have a lot of freedom in how they execute that, but they're a more tightly scripted team. And when you're playing a team like Canyon, where you have a lot of improv, a lot of individual reading it yourself and deciding what you're going to do, it's harder to play defense against that. So Canyon's excited that their game plan is working, and more importantly that their athleticism is proving to be a matchup, which is usually Dino's territory.
So Dino has the disc now as they'll play it forward. This one's caught by Santiago Velasquez. He'll play it to McKinney at his right side. McKinney sends it forward to Rashawn Dillon. Dillon fell down, but he was able to complete the pass through. Dillon gets this one back, flips it high up in the air, caught. And this one is with Jack Ponton. Ponton flips it right back to McKinney. McKinney looking for options. I think he's trying to go forehand here, as he'll go forehand, then just flicks it back here to Ponton. Ponton back to his left side to David Zia. Zia has it. He is near the end zone. Zia right to the end zone. And no score, as that was just outside of the line. I believe, though, Dino's arguing that they said they were inside the line when they caught it. So a bit of a dispute there. And I think that they will just replay the point simply. So we shall see. It looks like, yes, indeed, they will replay the point.
They will replay it, but I just saw it on the replay, and he did look in. He was looking right down at the line. He had his back foot in the end zone when he caught it, and his front foot up, and then his front foot came down. So I would call that in, but of course they don't have our perspective down there in the field. So they'll discuss it. They'll reach an agreement, and they'll shake hands and move it along. I will say that Dino had a much tougher time moving up the field there. Canyon's D was a lot tighter than Dino's D was coming in the other direction. So Canyon's got to be enthused about how they're forcing Dino to make a lot of lower percentage throws.
So McKinney will indeed replay this one right at the line. And this is in. McKinney will now look to safely flip it into the end zone. Drops it back to Ponton. Ponton into the end zone. And that is caught by Zia, who throws down the disc in celebration as Dino is back within one once again.
Now you got to give it to McKinney there for that emotional maturity. He was pretty confident he was in, and you're out here in the sun. You've been playing all weekend, and this is the game to go, game to get number 1 seed at Nationals. And you catch it, you're sure you're in, but then you end up with a disc in your hands right there at the end zone, and you just want to score. So it takes a lot of emotional maturity there to look off those first 3 throws and then take the dump behind you and get the score for your team rather than satisfying your own ego there. So that's a terrific play for McKinney there.
Great camera angles here, of course, courtesy of our incredible crew working behind the scenes at Trick Shot. And we are so blessed to be able to work with an incredible crew. I mean, I personally have known the crew of Trick Shot for a couple of years now. I got to say, the best in the business. For everything that they work on, and this weekend today has been no exception. Incredible production all around.
Yeah, these guys are great. I've been doing this for many years on smaller levels for these tournaments, a lot of the tournaments right here at these fields, and we're only now starting to get the infrastructure to do really high production, high quality games like this, and this is my first time collaborating with Trick Shot on behalf of the VUL, and they are really doing an amazing job. So I'm super excited to see how well it's being done up here. You're doing a great job too. I've been listening to you all day. This is my first game calling, but you're super good at what you do.
I really appreciate the kind words. It's comments such as those that keep me wanting to come back and continue doing this as my career.
I don't give them freely. That was a terrific play. That was a forehand pull, all full field, all the way to the back of the end zone.
Lots of power.
Yeah, get a little bit of wind at their back, but still, getting that kind of full field power from a forehand. Terrific play there.
O'Reilly throws this one up ahead. Here's Eddie Zhao. And he just flips that one forward to O'Reilly. Caught down here by number 88, that being Nathan Chan. The Chan's able to get there in time. Eddie Zhao gets it right back, and now the two-hand clap catch right down the middle. Ford Kelsey tries to get it back. Here is a pass dropped back by Turo Calawart. He sends it to Ford Kelsey. Flying catch. What agility there by Dino's Gavin Tang forces the turnover.
Again, Canyon working it right up the sideline there. They had a couple of resets, but no swings, not even a head turn to look for the swing. They're just pushing it right up the lane, not afraid to go step for step with Dino in the athleticism department.
Here's Gavin Tang after that incredible defensive hustle there. Now plays the disc up. Here's Jordan Leon. Leon going towards the end zone, and that is incomplete. So Canyon will get possession right back near the end zone. But we'll wait to see if they'll deploy a cutter going deep. Seems like they have the 3 cutters at least deep right now, but the handlers are all back. I guess they're doing a 3-4 formation here, but we have a timeout called. And I believe this timeout is called by Canyon, as they will be getting possession of the disc. And of course, Chris, 1 timeout per half per team, a 90-second timeout that they get.
Loosely 90 seconds. I don't think I've been playing for almost 30 years. I've never seen a 90-second timeout in my life. I say it's 90 seconds, but everyone wants to rest out there.
Especially considering the weather.
Oh, yeah. It's hot out there, and that just sucks it out of you. It really sucks the energy out of you. So, again, it's that athleticism between these two teams. Both teams, I talked to head coaches of both these teams before the game, and both of them really leaned on their athleticism, and they just believe they can win in those one-on-one matchups. Again, Dino doing it through scripted play, and Canyon being just a little bit more improvisational and letting their players do the thinking out there and cutting the spaces that they think they have. So it's really interesting for me to see two teams with those very different styles of play going up against each other. Makes Canyon harder to read for Dino because Dino is used to playing D against scripted teams. But again, Canyon's the underdog. They have never beat Dino. Dino's only lost one game since they came to be 3 years ago. This is their third season. They lost one game their first season. It was during the first nationals in a crossover game against Origin. But then they went on to win that nationals. Dino has. They've been undefeated since. So again, Canyon playing underdog really gives them that extra motivation here. And it looks like I wouldn't say they got Dino on the ropes, but they are looking really impressive in those one-on-one matchups, and that is really unusual to see against Dino.
So your thoughts on the game so far? I mean, as it comes to Canyon, like you said, they are looking really good against this Dino team out there. But overall, what has impressed you the most about this Canyon team?
I'd say the growth, their program. They only have, I believe they have 19 players here today, and Dino has like 5 or 6 more than that. And Canyon has been growing through their program for the last few years. This year they retained, I think, just under 50% of their players. And those players are really plugged into the system. So they've been playing with the team for several years. Dino tends to play mostly their seniors, and the younger players play on their development team. Same with Canyon, but Canyon really seems to fold that kind of institutional knowledge into their coaching. So the Canyon players, after playing for a couple of years with the team, they just seem natural out there.
So Canyon has the disc back as it ends up at the far side. We have the crowd cheering for the matchup that's going on the far side, I believe. Almost threw me off guard here as well. As here's Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly has the disc. He'll backhand it forward to James Haywood. Haywood goes low to James Ford Kelsey. Ford Kelsey has the marker right up on him. Instead, drops it back. Here's Devin O'Reilly. Throws it to Eddie Zhao, but it's going to go back to O'Reilly here. So O'Reilly will replay that point. And now ends up back and intercepted as James Haywood tried to receive. Canyon they're forced to now play defense as Dino does a great job turning the ball over. Or the disc over, I should say. Leon drops it back. Here's Jordan Leon. Far side to Lawrence Petaluna. Petaluna plays it to the end zone. And that is Jaden McCready of Dino who's able to get them back not within one. This game is tied at 4.
That's huge for Dino. They were down 4-2, and they really wanted that. They're getting close to the end zone like that and be able to just get 2 or 3 really clean throws and catches into the end zone. That's their game. So that's really motivating for that team, and that's got to bring Canyon down a notch in terms of morale. You can already see the heat affecting them out there, especially in those longer points. That last point where they had to take a timeout, you can see the players running a bit slower, and you can see a little bit more nerves in the catches. And that's going to happen through the course of the game. It's hot, it's windy, and the challenge out there isn't just the other team. You gotta battle all the elements too. You gotta battle your own nerves. You know what's on the line. So honestly, the team that's going to win it is going to be the team that can really keep up the morale this game.
It only took them 3 passes to score on that last possession. Gives us a chance to tell you about our friends at Friction Gloves. Friction Gloves are passionate about Ultimate and providing players with the gear they need to play their best. Their gloves are designed to improve your throws and catches no matter the weather conditions. Get Friction Gloves to improve your game at frictiongloves.com. And so now this is back to square one. It's a tied game. 4-4 is the score, and I think this is exactly what a finals game should be like, a tied game closely with 2 teams competing at an elite level. Incredible game so far. And so we'll see now the pull as getting it back will be Team Canyon. And they'll look to move up in possession. It's Tatsuro Taguchi. Taguchi will play this one now to his right. Zachary Bernardi picks it up. Bernardi plays it down to the left, and that's caught. Here's Matthew Bevis. Bevis plays it back. A different O-line out there for Canyon right now. Eddie Zhao drops it to Tegushi. Tegushi, long pass forward, and that is incomplete. A great hustle there by Dino's number 15, David Zia.
He is happy. Look at him dancing out there.
That is incredible.
That's terrific.
That's by number 10, Malcolm McCauley, actually, who is going crazy. Here's Enyek Lang. Enyek Liang drops it forward to McCauley. McCauley has it, goes to the forehand. McCauley throws it up ahead, and it's caught by Ethan Zhang. Zhang has the marker right up there on him. Zhang, and that's incomplete. Canyon forces the turnover.
Bit of a misread there from the Dino players. It looked like the cutters weren't sure who was going in, and one came in late. I don't know if he was the target for that, but it was way off target and not really a receiver in the area. Oh, and another unfortunate drop.
Yeah, the low throw there is dropped, so Dino will get the disc back.
You know, these drops, I'm going to tell you right now, it's sweat. It's sweat on your hands.
Ethan Zhang has this one. Zhang will play it. Here's Caleb Tang. Tang has it back. He'll play it forward, and that is dropped. As it's incomplete, it's going to go back into the hands of Canyon.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate throw behind the receiver. That's really hard to catch when it's off your back hip like that.
The throw with the forehand is complete. There's a bit of a huck towards the end zone, and right at the line there was Finley Gray. Gray will play it forward, and it is complete. Tatsuro Tegushi scores, and Canyon restores the lead.
That's a huge point coming out of a tie there. Dino was happy to bring it back from a 4-2 to a tie, but Canyon taking that point, if you can just stay on top of it by a point or two, that'll just really demotivate your opponent and give you the edge out there.
Well, there you saw our replay as well, and that gives us a chance to tell you about our friends at VC Ultimate. VC Ultimate is Vancouver's ultimate preferred apparel provider, preferred apparel provider. VC Ultimate has been producing the world's best ultimate apparel since 1998, locally in Canada. Featuring recycled materials and gender-free fits, VC puts quality and community first. Find high-quality apparels, discs, and accessories for yourself, or equip your team with custom gear at vcultimate.com. So we have ourselves a 5-4 contest between both these teams who are looking to be crowned as BC's champion, and it certainly seems like they will not go down with a fight. It feels like kind of like a heavyweight boxing tilt as well. One swing that way, one swing the other way. No quit in Dino or Canyon.
And you're watching Dino. Now, Dino's going to receive the pull here. There'll be an offense. And Dino's really using the breadth of the field. They're using every space they can. And Canyon, they're just shooting it right down the gut. They don't care where Dino's putting the mark. They're getting open under. And that's a huge win for Canyon. You don't see that against Dino, again, one-on-one matchups. So Canyon's really showing up here.
And so the disc just collides with the near side barricade, and it goes out of play. And so we will get Dino taking the disc here and getting their chance on offense. Ponton has it. Ponton sends it now to his right side as the disc is with Dino's Ryan Wong. He'll play that one back to Dom McKinney. McKinney has it back on the right side. It's flipped and incomplete, as I don't think Jack Ponton was completely ready for that pass.
Yeah, you know what he was doing was trying to catch and throw at the same time. He turned his head this is common with every level of player. You're trying to catch and throw at the same time. You're trying to catch the throw, but also turn around and get your next pass off, and sometimes you just mistime it.
O'Reilly, that one's played forward here to Tegushi. Tegushi plays it back here to Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly looking to pivot and moves that one forward. As here's Zachary Bernardi. Bernardi plays that one back to Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly and back to Bernardi. Bernardi drops it to his left. Back to Bernardi once again. Bernardi using the pivot foot. Here's Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly goes on the backhand. Plays that one back up top to Tegushi. Canyon looking for a dangerous chance here. Tegushi to the end zone inside. And that one is with Bernardi. Bernardi plays it inside of the end zone. That is complete. Nate Bernardi off of the pass from Zach Bernardi. The two twins connect. And I know mom and dad watching either back home or here are going to be very happy about that one. Canyon's up 6-4.
Again, Canyon walked it down the open side. They barely even swung it. They moved it to the center of the field, but they didn't use that break side at all. They're playing on half a sliver of field over here instead of the whole field, whereas Dino's using the whole field on their offense, moving it back and forth to use the width of the field. Canyon is just shooting it right down the gut, and Dino's letting them win those one-on-one matchups on the underneaths there. What Dino has to do here is tighten up their unders, or they're not really a poach and switching team, but they need to tighten up those unders and cover those unders and force Canyon to use those swings and get it over to the break side. And that's good for Canyon because that gives Canyon, they've got a whole backup plan there because they're not even using that side of the field, and it's open to them. So if Dino does move in and start to shut down those unders and stop that flow up the field right along the sideline, Canyon should have that break side open and be able to just move it up the other side.
Well, you talked about this earlier, Chris, but sweaty hands are definitely a factor in this contest. I saw some of the Dino players actually applying chalk to their hands, which I believe and that really helps your grip, especially in a game such as this.
Yeah, sweat and sunscreen, that'll kill you. And this is turf, too. Normally, what I teach players to do, because it works really well, is get your fingers down into the dirt and crush up some grass in your fingers, and it really makes them nice and sticky, gets all the sweat off. But just you're playing turf out here. You got sweat and you got sunscreen. So I don't know if the chalk's going to work. I've never used it, but we'll see if that's going to help them at all. But I don't think that's their problem right now.
So Canyon currently leads Dino 6-4. Keep in mind that once that 7th point is scored by Canyon, or whoever scores the 7th point, we will approach our halftime of the 2025 BC Ultimate Open Final. And so here we go. A backhanded throw, a long pull down the other way. Dino collects, and Jaden McCready will pick it up. It ends up here with Dino's Dom McKinney. McKinney has it, as he'll play it now back to the right. Jonathan Chua picks it up. Chua now to Jack Ponton. Ponton with a long huck back down the other way. He aims it for McKinney. McKinney, and that is caught. A one-handed incredible catch by McKinney. He plays it to the end zone. And that is incomplete. Oh, no, it is complete. That's a score. I believe Canyon may have been disputing it, but that is a catch indeed inside the line. And they're back within one again.
McKinney a little bit full of himself after that point, pointing at his jersey, jumping up and down. That's he deserves it, though.
Incredible catch.
He gets the disc. He was looking for the huck there. Every time he gets a disc, he looks huck, he looks under, he looks swing. And there he saw an opportunity to go deep after he looked huck under and swing, gave it to the swing, went up the middle, and then saw that he had the cushion to go deep, and he just went for it. And a terrific grab in the air there against a good defender in a floaty situation. You had the wind coming from that direction, so you had the disc floating on him, but really good getting in the air, really good looking off that first receiver in the end zone too, because your nature is you want to score it really quick. You see someone open in front of you, but you got to stop, set your body, make sure you're putting the right throw to the right player, and that was very smart of him to look off that first throw in the end zone and wait for that second one to open up and get a nice simple score.
Well, safe to say that nerves may be a part of this game as well, considering it's the final. And when players are obviously playing for all the marbles, very much nerves do play a part. And no question about it, these teams, they want to walk away with a win here. That's how they want to end their day at the 2025 BC Ultimate Championships. So we'll see now the pull as Dino will throw the disc. It ends up all the way down just past the end zone line. Lots of power on that shot there. And Canyon will begin their offensive drive. So we'll see Canyon bring it up. Pardon? Yeah.
Just so
all you got to do is just flip your thing. So now play is underway once again as Canyon's pass attempt there was incomplete, and Dino will force the possession back. And this is a dangerous opportunity here for Dino on the break. And now Dino is right at the end zone line. They'll flip that one in, and it is complete. Jordan Leon is able to capitalize, and he has tied the game up at 6 for Dino.
What a turn for Dino in just like 90 seconds. First on that big huck, winning that big huck in the air there in front of the end zone and doing a quick score, and then getting it down on the pole and having that unfortunate turnover by Canyon right in front of their own end zone. And then the throw from the sideline, the one place you don't want to give up is that corner of the end zone right in front of the thrower. But the defender was just trying to body and play right on the hip there instead of poaching out into the lane there, and it cost him. So in a matter of 90 seconds, Dino just flipped this from down 6-4 to tied at 6s, I believe.
And so now for Canyon, off of that turnover that was forced, they are unable to really turn, or they're unable to defend off a very, very motivated Dino team who gets the break point. And we'll now see a 6-6 tied game. The next point will get us to our halftime here.
You know, if Dino wins this game, that's going to be one of the turning points right there, that last 90 seconds, scoring 2 quick points there. Again, that catch in the air, and again, that turnover right on the line by Canyon. Canyon's got to get this back.
So we will see now as Canyon will get set. Dino is ready to throw. And there it is, a long forehand throw. It ends up back down the left side. Now Canyon has it. Here's Eddie Zhao. Zhao will drop it back. Here's Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly plays it back to Finley Gray. Gray goes to the forehand to James Ford-Kelsey. Ford-Kelsey plays that one down to James Haywood. Haywood looking for an opening, as James Haywood will drop it back to Finley Gray.
And again, not a look to the swing. They are using that sideline. Wide open swing there, looking it off and choosing instead to get it right back on the open side. You just don't see that kind of play very much, but Canyon is making it work.
A long huck down the other way, but it's intercepted here as Dino is able to get the disc, and this one will head back down with Dino.
I'll correct myself. They made it work up to that throw.
There's a forehand throw, and now a huck back down the other way. Here's a chance, and that is incomplete. As Dino gave themselves a chance there, it was just incomplete, and it's still 6-6 between Dino and Canyon in the 2025 BC Ultimate Championship Open Final.
You know, not a bad idea there. His player was open. I think if he could put it over the top, it would have been a really good shot at a reception there. I think that was just an errant throw, working against the wind there.
And of course, our clock does show 18 minutes of time left in this contest as the disc is thrown back here to Zach Bernardi. Bernardi will have it. He'll send it to back down to James Ford-Kelsey, who gets the pass through to Nate Bernardi. Nate and Zach, both twins, are out there again, and we have a stoppage of play.
That's the first time, maybe this whole game, or at least in the last few points, that I've seen Canyon actually move it across the field. It doesn't look like the stoppage affected the play, but now they're working down on the break side. We'll see if they're going to swing it back across or just work it down this sideline.
And the Dinos again calling for a stoppage of play here as Nate Bernardi, I believe they're trying to call for a travel, but Nate Bernardi says, I wasn't traveling. My pivot foot was established. And so now both teams will come to a resolution. And I mean, I Chris, from my perspective, I understand both teams trying to make sure that their call is the right one, considering the stakes of this matchup.
The thing about the travel call, though, is it's not something that you have to get tapped in it's not really a stoppage of play in terms of the other team. The defense needs to tap it in. You could just you could say, okay, travel, tap it, and keep going. So Canyon had an opportunity to take advantage of that, but they kind of let the clock run on that.
Yeah, Bernard's pass attempt there was intercepted as Dino get it back. Leo Yip throws it to Jordan Leon. Leon drops it back here to Nikhil Miller. Miller gets it back with one hand. Nikhil Miller will try and find an opening. Miller goes to the forehand throw, and that is caught as Jordan Leon throws it towards the end zone, and that is complete. Lawrence Petaluna is able to make it 7-6, and with that, we are at our halftime point here at the 2025 BC Ultimate Championships.
Yeah, that was a nice throw and a nice catch, but the wind helped on that. That defender was in the right position, and he's got to be a little bit gutted there because he knew he had that D, but it looked like the wind just caught that trailing edge a little bit and put it over the top of his head, landed right in the hands of the receiver. So after being down or tied the entire game, here comes Dino up 7-6. We'll see how they pull it out in the second half.
It is halftime. 7-6 is the score as Dino is leading Canyon. And now a word from our friends at BC Ultimate. Pardon? Welcome back to Newton Athletic Park here in Surrey, BC, as Dino and Canyon are in a very close game. Canyon currently leading Dino with a 7-6 score. It's been an incredible game up until this point. Canyon stormed out to a big 3-1 lead. Dino wouldn't go down without a fight, as they just did not give up, and both teams are now at halftime. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize this halftime break, considering that for most of our games here today, teams have not really utilized the halftime break, the full 7 minutes. Both teams have been pretty eager to get back out there on the field and resume play. Just one team utilized the 7-minute break. Actually, it was last game where Dusk utilized it in the women's semifinal. As we take a look at some of the replay here in our action here today, like I said, both teams have been moving the disc really well. There's an example of great disc movement from Dino. And look at this long catch back down the other way by Dino once again. And a bit of a throw towards the end zone, and that was caught as well. As you mentioned it, Chris, Dino has really changed the narrative of this game after being down early in the first half. Are now leading 7-6. There we go. We can hear you now.
There's a new type of mic here I'm just getting used to. I'm talking into the mute. Dino was down 6-4, and they just brought it back with 2 quick points, and then a little bit that took a little bit longer. But again, you can see Dino really using the width of the field. That's how they're getting their scores, and Canyon punching it down the gut. That's how they're getting their scores. I wonder how they're going to change it this half. I wonder if Canyon's going to start using that break side of the field, and I wonder if Dino's going to try something other than one-on-one matchups. They're really doing a scripted, disciplined one cutter, one look. It's not their second cutter, second look. Whereas Canyon, they're just doing a lot more improv, where they're seeing what's open and getting to it. So you're never sure whose turn it is or who's gonna go. So it's really interesting to watch these styles go up against each other.
What sort of a second half are you expecting here between these two teams? Because time on the game clock, of course, the time cap is continuing to tick away here. And both of these teams, they do not want to go down without a fight.
Yeah, it really depends on the coaching, and it depends on who's ahead. If you're ahead and the time cap is on, and you only have a little bit of time left, you want to really slow down the opponent's offense, running a really effective zone, giving the handlers all they want, but shutting down all the cutters. They have to get 100 throws to get it in. You want to use the clock against them. So Dino's up 7-6 here. Maybe if they score another one, maybe they'll do something to slow down the clock like that. But that's what I'd like to see, because then you're going to start seeing some zone. And I'd love to see some zone between these two teams. But I doubt we're going to see any, because they're both so fixed in what they do. Canyon with their using their imagination out there, and Dino going with their scripted play. So I think you're really going to see just hardcore one-on-one matchups, and it's kind of a coin toss right now in my mind as to who's going to take this out. Again, it's really going to come down to who's got morale, who's got the will, who's got the drive in the last 10 minutes of the game and pull it out.
While we have the time, we can inform you about the summer day camps. Get your kids started in Ultimate with Vancouver Ultimate Summer Day Camps for ages 8 to 14. Day camps run weekly till the end of the month. Register now at vul.ca.
I'd like to go to day camp. Somebody send me to day camp. Who says adults can't go to day camp?
Well, you can certainly be a wealth of knowledge for the next generation as well.
Oh, I could teach them a thing or two about bouncy castles.
So what sort of a second half should we expect here from this Canyon team who, is it safe to say would be an upset if Canyon was to defeat Dino?
It sure would, and I bet Canyon's going to look for the huck place here. They've been driving it down the gut, but I think they're, especially you've been seeing. Sorry, I forget his name. Trying to remember his name from Canyon. Who was moving the disc so well with the hucks? We'll see. We'll see what they pull it out here.
Finley Gray, in my opinion, has.
Finley Gray.
Yeah, he's been moving the disc really well, especially on the huck plays.
Yeah, he's been moving it well with his legs. It's just a matter of what his teammates see, what they can, what he can pull off, and if his players see it and have confidence in him.
Well, Ponton.
Is he on the field now, Finley Gray? I don't think he's on the field at this point, though.
No. Oh, actually, he is.
He is.
He's in
he's hiding out there. He is. Okay, he's behind the post.
He's
hiding behind my post.
Yeah, very much. He's number 20 in white and pink with the blonde hair, so he stands out necessarily.
Got a little bit of an Eminem thing going there.
And so the disc comes right back here to Jack Ponton. It'll be right back with David Zia. And I believe Zia was a part of the Dino team that went to Nationals last year as well. It's a name I very, very much recognize.
Just under half of the players in each of these teams were probably played at Nationals last year. Right there, you had a pick call, and so they reset the disc, and now it is a timeout. It's not a timeout, sorry, a stall out. A stall is huge for Canyon right here, getting a stall because they couldn't find Dino couldn't find a receiver in that one-on-one matchup.
Especially at that point, at that place of the floor as well.
Mm-hmm.
As you see here, Canyon's moving the disc really well. Zach Bernardi will drop it back. Forehand throw is incomplete. And O'Reilly gets right back there on defense. Look at Ponton trying to send it forward, and that is complete. It passes through as Dino's moving the disc in rapid fire succession. Petaluna gets it back here at the near side, flicks that one up. Great pass to Ponton.
Ponton initially wanted that huck, but that was a terrific D there by, I believe it was Devin O'Reilly, number 701 on the mark. He denied the backhand huck and then the forehand huck. Oh, my goodness.
Intercepted. Great interception there by number 17, Zachary Bernardi. And Bernardi with the huck all the way down the other
Not
end.
even going to wait for it.
Here it is, James Haywood at the end zone, and that is incomplete. Rashawn Thidlow says, look at me, I'm right here. Incredible defensive play.
These little plays here, this is going to change the game. It's going to just completely change the flow of the game. If Dino can get it down and score there, that's going to be very demotivating for Canyon because they played that really well. Again, that mark prevented the huck, made him walk it down the field and get the turnover. But that unfortunate floaty huck there is really going to make Canyon regret this point.
Long huck back down the other way, and that is incomplete. How about it? Canyon's Lucas Legal says, anything you can do, I can do better.
What did I say at halftime? What did I say? The second half, it's going to be hucks. They're going to be looking to huck it out, get some scores, and shut it down on the time count.
That was James Ford Kelsey, number 34, saying, anything you can do, I can do better. As Canyon forces the turnover, and now There he is. Finley Gray will take the disc from his own end zone and will try and get a play going the other way. We're reaching the interesting point here of this matchup here, Chris, as time will continue to wind away on the clock, and it's not going to be long before we hear that air horn either.
Yeah, we got 7.5 minutes. I mean, it's the 2, maybe 3 points left in this game. Oh, my goodness. Oh, a foot block.
Yeah, very
and
much.
a reception off that foot block.
So Canyon gets the disc back. Here's Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly plays it back to the near side. Corbin Young has it. Young to Gray. Gray flicks it high up in the air. A lateral pass gets through to Devin O'Reilly. He'll drop it back to Gray. Here's Finley Gray. The marker is right up there on, and Finley Gray goes underhand, gets the pass through.
Yeah, I don't think in all my years of playing and coaching I've ever seen a team win just by working it down the sideline. And Canyon, again, walking it right on the line.
Oh, a bit of an awkward landing there. And we have a player down at the right side, but he's able to quickly get back up, which is nice to see the young man get back up, and he skyrockets up into the air, just shakes it off. I told you this before, Chris, as well. There's no way these players are going to miss any moment of this contest.
No. That's the fortunate that was a low-speed impact there. It was just tumbling over each other's legs there. But, you know, this is Prime's game. They got them trapped on the sideline here. They're guarding the under. They're guarding the dump. And yet they keep giving up the up-the-line cut.
Here's James Ford-Kelsey. He'll drop it back to the left. Exchanges a give and go there with Bernard. Now it's picked up by Zach Bernard. Zach and Nate are both out there on the field. James Ford-Kelsey, a flick of a pass, gets through here to Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly looking for help. O'Reilly flicks that one high up into the air. Finley Gray's in the end zone, and he catches it. This game is tied.
That was a fantastic play. Just in that last third of the field, finally Canyon was pulling it off the sideline, and you see how all that extra space they have in the middle of the field. And until that last throw in the end zone, they didn't even move it past the halfway mark. So they are, again, only playing on half a field and still doing really well. If they can not force some of those underpasses where you get those sweaty drops because you got a laser coming into your gut, instead of forcing those, hitting that dump and then that swing, but they're not even looking for the swing and still dominating, honestly. I think they're dominating a lot of the play in this game, so that's just so impressive to see them do that against the top team in Canada, only using a third or even a half of the field.
5 minutes are shown on our clock here as it's 7-7. And yes, very much. This is going to be an interesting one. We had a game earlier today in the women's division, the first women's quarterfinal game that came down to the last point where the air horn had sounded. The game was tied, and it was next score wins.
That's right, hard cap. That was a 7-7 game where I think it was... what two teams were that? There was...
it was the Nitro versus Vortex.
Nitro versus Vortex, and Vortex came out on top of that at a 7-7 game. That was pretty exciting. I think you reviewed this in the last game there about the soft cap versus the hard cap. That hard cap horn went off, and a lot of people thought it was the soft cap, but we're not using soft cap rules at this tournament. So soft cap and hard cap are different. You generally start with a soft cap, add a point after that, and then play it out. But if it's a hard cap, then it's basically next point wins when it's a tied game, and that's what happens. So Vortex was real excited to pull that out.
Boy, could you imagine we get a hard cap here today? Next score wins. Wouldn't that be something?
This game's going to come down to some sort of air battle. You got 3.5 minutes left, and it's a tie game, so the clock is not serving anyone. What you want to do here is be chilly and walk it down the field and score, but what you're going to see here is a couple of chill throws and then a huck deep, and then that one-on-one matchup in the air is going to determine the outcome of this game.
And, I mean, how about it, with the time coming to what it is right now, safe to say, Chris, that we might be very much approaching next score wins territory.
Might be. Listen for that horn. They got 3.5 minutes.
And so the coach gives their last instruction there to their team. And the chants are loud. And the chants are here. Here's the pull. And a long pull back down the other way to the end zone. It's collected here by Jack Ponton. Ponton flips it to the forehand. He'll leave it now for his teammate David Zia. And that is incomplete. It's knocked down by Finley Gray.
Just an errant throw into the wind, little bit of an air bounce off that backhand, and unfortunate because that could be a game changer right there if Canyon can march it down and score.
So Canyon will take over here. Eddie Zhao will throw it forward to Bernard. Zachary Bernardi throws it to the end zone. Here's Finley Gray, and he scores!
And Finley Gray, what a great move. He was heading down to the break side, turned his hips, came over to the other side, and the thrower, I didn't catch the thrower, but I can't see his eyes from here, but I tell you exactly what his eyes were doing. They were looking at Finley Gray off to the right, knowing that he was going to fade back off to the left side there, throw a flick fake if you got it, and then turn around and put up that nice big backhand floaty into space, knowing your teammate, trusting your teammate's going to be there. And, man, that's what I'm seeing from Canyon today. You asked me earlier about the difference I'm seeing, and what I'm seeing right now from Canyon is trust. You play that innovative game, that improv game, then that requires a lot of trust from your players, not just to be running the same plays, running the same types of cuts and throws and such, but being able to read your opponents and or your teammates and being able to read the field the same way as they do. So throwing that huck into space, knowing that Finley Gray's going to turn and go for that spot, that's just solid teamwork and represents literally several years of hard work from players getting to know each other and getting to think alike in there. And again, fantastic coaching. Blake Merrilees is the head coach of Canyon, and he's one of the best coaches in the province here. And all love to him for really bringing this team along. Much improved team from last year, and boy, they can smell it. They can smell that gold at Nationals this year. They can really they can already feel it around their necks.
Yeah, great coaching staff on both sides of the equation. Of course, the coaching staff for Canyon, head coach Blake Merrilees, the assistant coach Mac Perriman, and another assistant coach, our very own Shahan Oshaderi, who is out there, and they are very much the coaching staff supporting this team as they are not too far removed now, leading 8-7, and time continuing to tick away here as we'll hear that air horn very soon. And so Ponton gets this one back. Ponton will drop it back. Here's Jordan Leon. Leon sends it back to Ponton. Dino feeling like perhaps this is a must-score drive. Leon gets it right back. We're able to move the disc forward. There's a long huck down the other way to the end zone, and it's intercepted. Canyon with the interception, and a timeout has been called.
That's using the clock. 4 seconds left. Canyon's up 8-7. Using the clock to their advantage there.
What a play by Finley Gray. He skyrocketed up into the air. He scored on the last drive, forces the turnover here on the other. They'll take a look at the replay right here. Dino going for the huck and skyrocketing up into the air.
Not a bad call even, and not really even a bad throw, just fantastic defense, a little bit higher, and you got two open guys in the end zone, but that's what I said earlier. It's going to come down to a huck to the end zone and who's going to be able to get up there. And Finley Gray, wow, what a game this guy is having.
Well, if there was an MVP award, I'd have no doubts on who it would go to perhaps for this game alone. And even in the semifinal, he was very noticeable in that Canyon's win. That they had in the semifinal as well.
Yeah, and while we're taking a quick moment here, you had talked about the coaches for Canyon, Dino coaches too. We want to give them a shout out. Alex Lamb, the head coach, also one of the best coaches in the province, terrific coach. Justin Podnar plays for Team Canada, coached my kid. Eli Bryan, who I've known since he was a baby. William Tang, this fantastic coaching crew here on both sides of the ball. It doesn't get better in terms of coaching crews here in British Columbia.
So could that last play be the deciding factor between separating Canyon and the gold medal here at the 2025 BC Ultimate Championship? And for Dino now, it's all about forcing a turnover on their own accord. And what would make things really interesting. But now, as you can see, they're using all the time they can get here. This is a smart strategy. As Finley Gray is just holding on to the disc, and he'll wait for the count to begin, and it will begin. They'll drop it back here. Look at the tight defensive coverage. That's thrown out to the near side. Zachary Bernardi has it. Bernardi goes to the backhand. He'll play it now across here for James Ford Kelsey. Ford Kelsey plays it forward. Yeah. And the disc is flipped up and ahead. Another catch forward, and that is complete. And Dino saying it was out, but Devin O'Reilly believes that he had 1 foot in.
Well, it's really looked in from up here, but they're going to have to settle it on the field there. But I think right now, Canyon, they're not looking for those hucks. You didn't even see any huck cuts. And that tells me that they talked about it beforehand. That's real nice, by the way, for Dino giving it to him, letting him say, yeah, okay, you're in, taking the call.
O'Reilly has it at the sideline. He'll play that up and forward, and the pass is complete. I believe it's behind the tent. So it does look complete on our vantage point, and James Ford-Kelsey will continue up possession. Ford-Kelsey now looking for a cut. He plays it forward to the end zone, and they score. Devin O'Reilly at the end zone, and they can feel it now as Canyon is up 2. So Canyon can feel the score, or they can feel the game now. We'll take a look at our, as we can see down on the field, the replay right there. As there you have it, the spike by Devin O'Reilly. And Canyon's up 9-7. And so now we shall see Dino getting the disc back. So now Canyon will be on their sideline here, and with a 2-score game now, Chris, what can you do if you're Dino?
Man, first I got to talk about Canyon just really chilling on that last point there. I know that they wanted to huck it and get a big score and get up that 9-7 and really put them in the driver's seat, but they were smart and chill, and they said, okay, let's just walk it down and complete our passes. And they did, again, down the sideline, but they weren't taking chances with the hucks on that one. So a really good adjustment from Canyon there, and we'll see what happens here. Right now, what you have is Dino down to almost into the game, and they're going upwind. So this is a huge obstacle to overcome for Dino. Canyon, I can feel it down there. Canyon's so excited. When I was listening to, I was walking the sidelines before the game and listening to the teams, and what I kept hearing from Canyon was locked. Everyone locked in. Everyone just locked into this game. There's the hard cap.
And there is the air horn. Canyon is now on top as the air horn has been sounded, but I think we're going to have one last play.
I believe we have one last point, but Canyon is up 9-7, so that puts them in the win, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure how we're doing with the clock and the air horn here, but I believe that's hard cap. Next point is the last point, and that would be a Canyon win. So I don't want it to be anticlimactic here, but it seems like the game is over, and they're just playing out the last point. Somebody correct me out there.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out here. I guess we'll find out here very shortly, but I do believe you're correct, Chris. I think it's going to be next point signals the end of the game, but with it being a 2-score contest, this one might be over. As you see, the disc was blocked there, and it's at the sideline, but, I mean, looking down at the field right now, Canyon can feel it.
Yeah, Canyon wants to go out with an exclamation point here. Again, Dino has not been beaten since their first year. 1 game at Nationals. Canyon took 4th at Nationals last year, where Dino took 1st. 2 weeks ago at the Misfit Cup, Dino won 13-10 over Canyon. Canyon wins this, their first win against Dino ever. It's just a massive, massive game for them.
Well, Finley Gray trying to drop that one back as the disc ends up back into the hands of Dino. Here is Jordan Leon. Leon will try and play that one forward, and that is intercepted.
Finley Gray got a tip on that, man. The last 15 seconds, you see how excited he is. He's been great this whole game, but I think he just came alive in that last. He wanted to get that D. He just about laid out for that swing, and he got a tip on that, which made it float and gave that turnover. So Finley Gray really wants to end this with an exclamation point.
So the disc ends up still in the hands of Canyon, and we have a beautiful catch there by James Ford-Kelsey. Here's Nate Bernardi. He tried to play it to Finley Gray, and the disc ends up right on the bottom. It'll head back down the other way. As you see, holding on to it is Dino. They're perhaps going to go for one last tuck here. As Don McKinney has it, he'll play it over. And now to Jonathan Chua. Chua will try and flip it forward. Here is David Zia.
Finley Gray trying to lay out from about 10 feet out.
Yeah, Zia has it back. He'll drop it to Dom McKinney. McKinney flips it forward back to David Zia. Zia now going or trying to perhaps flip it into the end zone as Dino flips it into the end zone, and that is caught, and a score is made. So
the question is that the game? It was a hard cap horn, but they're still talking down there, so I'm not really clear if that's a game or not. I guess I should know my job better.
Is it win by 2? Is that
That's a good question. Sometimes it's win by 2. Let me do a little research here.
It could very well be win by 2. I remember doing my prep for this tournament, and I did see somewhere that it was maybe win by 2. So I think in this case, if Dino was to score another on the point, like if they were to get another score here, then they would be crowned the winner.
Oh my goodness, did I call the winner too early? Let's find out.
So we'll have to see if it's win by 2. Obviously, the rules are different for many different levels, and as
it's often win by 2. I don't have in my game notes here whether this is a win by 2, but they're getting back out there, so I'm guessing it's got to be. But we got game played to 13 or 90 minutes, whichever comes first. We had the hard cap with Canyon on a 2-point win, and I thought that was the game, but maybe they are going for a win by 2 here.
Well, we should make mention real quickly about our friends at London Pub. The London Pub is Main Street's best venue for sports, bar games, and gathering with your team. See their menu and location at londonpubvan.com. So, if I was to be a guessing man here, Chris, I'd say it's win by 2.
It's got to be because they're out there playing. Otherwise, Canyon would be off the field right now popping the corks on those milk bottles.
And so the disc is thrown. The pull has occurred. A long pull back down the other way. So I think if the case is this, if we were to have a Canyon score here on this drive, the game is over. But if Dino were to tie it up, then we'd be back to square one I'd assume.
Well, you know, that's the weird thing is we're not playing soft cap rules. With soft cap rules, it's win by 2. With hard cap rules, it's next point wins. So when this hard cap went off, when that horn went off, that should have been it. So I'm a little bit confused here because the earlier games, they didn't have a soft cap. So I'm wondering if they added a soft cap into the final games and we're looking for a hard cap. Otherwise, it seems like Canyon had already won the game.
Here's Zach Bernardi. Bernardi, a lateral pass, gets through here for Eddie Zhao. Zhao has it. He'll just flick it and out of the near side. It's James Haywood. Haywood, here is James Ford-Kelsey. Ford-Kelsey drops this one back. James Haywood has it. He'll play right down the middle, and it's caught. Eddie Zhao catches it. Zhao, and it's played back, an errant pass, and that is intercepted. A turnover here forced by Canyon. And now Dino will pick it up with a chance to tie the game. It ends up through, and another interception here. This one is on against Dino. So as we see right here, Canyon is on the sidelines. I see the women's Canyon team getting set as well because their final game is coming up next after this one. So lots yet to be determined here between both these teams.
I'm confused why we don't have observers here either. This is the open final. Oh, goodness.
And
nice
another
defense.
chance here, but defensive play by Dino forces a missed play here from Canyon. And so Leon will pick this one up. Boy, could we have an interesting turn of events here. Canyon, another misplayed. And look right there. Finley Gray, the cutter, is going back down. He's ready to get going back down the other way. And Canyon throws it up ahead. Here's Zach Bernardi. Bernardi has this one. It's dropped back here to Nathan Chan. Chan drops it back and forward. Here's James Ford-Kelsey. And Bernardi gets it back. And the pass is complete. As I think we might have a replay of the play there.
Looks like there was a pick called there from that undercutter because that cutter was wide open, and that's what the stoppage of play was. Oh, my goodness, another turnover.
Another
There's more
turnover.
turnovers in this point than the rest of the game.
Yeah, and Ponton has it.
All in
He'll
the same
play it.
spot, too.
Yeah, and Ponton will play that one to Petulina. Petulina back to Ponton. Goes for the safe pass. Ponton looking for it. Sends it to Petulina. Petulina has the disc at the near side. Petulina, and that is complete. It's with Ponton. The pass is complete. Ponton now looking for an opening. Ponton plays that one back to Petulina. Petulina has it back. He sends it to the end zone, and that is caught. It's a tie game. So Jordan Leon will take that one back, and this game is tied at 9. So I guess we will continue on as we'll take a look at the replay right here. You'll see cutting in was Leon there, and he is able to get the point. So it's now a 9-9 game. And now is it next point wins, or is it win by 2?
I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't have a direct line to observers or officials or anybody from here up the booth, so we're kind of guessing as we're going. I'm going to take a minute and go gather some intel.
So we'll now see Dino as they're regathering themselves. There you see Canyon as well, but this also gives us some time to thank our sponsors. Special thank you to our friends at VC Ultimate. VC Ultimate is Vancouver's Ultimate's preferred apparel provider. VC Ultimate has been producing the world's best ultimate apparel since 1998 locally in Canada, featuring recycled materials and gender-free fits. VC puts quality and community first. Find high-quality apparel, discs, and accessories for yourself, or equip your team with custom gear at vcultimate.com. So we see Canyon there as they are all supporting. This is incredible to see. Even the women's team is supporting their team as well.
All right, I went out and gathered some intelligence here. Apparently, the other games today did not have a soft cap, hard cap only. So what we heard earlier was not a hard cap, it was a soft cap. For the finals, they're having a soft cap and a hard cap. So, soft cap, we had the soft cap horn. Now it is universe point. That gave Dino the chance to catch up. So now it is universe point. Next point wins.
And here's
Is that going to be it?
Back down the other way. It's Devin O'Reilly in the end zone, and that is incomplete.
What did I say? It's going to come down at the last minute to sky battles in the end zone. That one right there, if that's a catch, Canyon wins. But it's a D. Dino has a chance to pull it out here. What a come from behind for the team that is not the underdog, which is not what you usually say.
So now it'll be Dino's chance here to try and seal the deal. You talked about it earlier on, Chris, just one defeat for Dino, and that was at Nationals.
Yeah, their first year, too, and only one game. Oh, my goodness. That was just fortunate.
And here's all the way down to the other end. It's a chance, but it's incomplete as Santiago Velasquez couldn't pick it up. And now the disc will go back down the other way.
Man, that thrower wants that back. That guy was open. He had a nice big huck, but it just came out wrong and ended up as a big OI throw instead of a nice flat huck. Again, a deep battle. This is going to come down to hucks back and forth. God, both these teams want this so badly. It's great to see them in a universe point.
And I mean, you said it best. Both teams do want this badly, and hey, it kind of brings me back to the 2010 Winter Olympics gold medal game. It could be anyone's chance here. And there's a pass that's thrown forward. It's James Ford-Kelsey. Ford-Kelsey has it. Ford-Kelsey will look for a long huck back down the other way. Collecting this one's Bernardi. He catches it. Bernardi looking to throw it into the end zone. Bernardi throws it. It's good. It's good. Canyon has won the 2025 BC Ultimate Championship.
Those are some happy campers out there. The women's team are out there with them, too. they're going to be playing in the next finals of Canyon, and they won Mischief Cup 2 weeks ago. So you see Canyon women and Canyon men beating Dino in the finals, where they lost both those finals last year. This is huge for Canyon, huge for the program, huge for these players. I can't even begin to tell you what they're feeling out there, getting that monkey off their backs.
Canyon has defeated Dino. Let's take a look. Another look here. As you saw, Zach Bernardi collected it. Bernardi able to send it through. He finds his twin brother, Nate Bernardi. And how poetic is that? Zach to Nate, the twins connect for all the marbles, becoming BC's best team.
Nice. Good job for Canyon. They've been building that program for years. They've put so much work into it, and you can see how well developed and well coached all those players out there are for Canyon. They really know how to think on their feet. They know how to make decisions. They know how to throw. They know how to catch. So good on them. They're going to be sleeping well tonight.
Yeah, just incredible scenes here as a team Canyon is able to win. But on the other hand, you have Dino, who are absolutely heartbreaking following a defeat here in the finals. Just one loss for this program in the entirety of their existence. And
now 2.
Now it is 2.
Oh, they still got the Nationals ahead of them. They're still the top team in the country, side by side with Canyon. So that's going to be a fantastic Nationals too. If both of them can get into the finals at Nationals, that's going to be a terrific game as well.
And there you see the best tradition in all of sports, as both teams will line up for the handshake line. And this is incredible. Lots of sportsmanship between these two teams. It was a highly competitive battle, and I think this was a game only worth of the finals for this tournament.
Yeah, you notice the entire game was person-on-person defense. Neither team threw zone once, and I did a lot of research before the game, talking to the coaches and players and figuring out exactly what kind of zones they run and that kind of stuff. They didn't run it once. A lot of wasted time in that research. They didn't run zone at once. This was just a series of one-on-one battles all the way down, and both teams told me that that's what they were looking to do because they felt their team were the biggest competitors. They felt like they had the edge on athleticism, and that was their focus. Both teams, their focus today was just winning by athleticism, and they both did a fantastic job. Great playing and great coaching on both sides of the ball.
And so the celebration is underway for Team Canyon as they are able to walk away with a big win. And I think we all are in awe and all are in very big depth here for Team Canyon, who gave us a big show, but shout out to Team Dino as well for an incredible showing at this tournament. And it will be incredible for both of these teams as they will now walk away to the Canadian National Championships. So I believe we have our very
all right, we're looking up here.
Standing by.
I think we're good. All right. I'm here with Finley Gray. Why don't you tell us what you're feeling right now?
Oh, it's just pure bliss. I'm so emotional. Like we've been chasing this for a long time, and it's all boiled down to a big emotional catch.
So you guys were playing a lot of zone defense throughout the whole tournament. That game was a lot more match. What was the thought behind the switch, and how did it help you overcome your demon?
Well, Dino's got some really standout players, and we just know that in our zone, which we're less experienced in, and as a team we're less confident in, really, that they would just shred right through it. We've got a team with some, I think, 10 returners and about maybe 15 new players, or 10 other new players, and a lot of those players are less experienced in zone, and we're less, so that therefore we're less confident in the zone.
You guys looking forward to nationals?
Oh, pumped.
For sure. Yeah, cool. Thank you, guys. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Jonah. And wise words there from number 20, Finley Gray, who says it's so good to finally get this win considering how bad we wanted it.
Yeah, he's responsible for it as much as any of the players up there. Really fantastic play from Jonah, from everybody on that team. But you could just really see the excitement through the entire game, the will. I always tell players there's the greatest weapon you can bring onto the field is will, just the will to dominate that person across from you. And you saw that on both sides of the ball today, but Canyon was able to pull it out.
Well, Chris, I know you and I can talk for a very long time together, but we have to get set for our next matchup coming up. I want to thank you for joining me in the booth today on the color mic, and it was a really great game that we got to call together.
Thank you. That was fun. That was my first calling with this particular team. You guys did a fantastic job today. I'm excited to watch the women's game, and I think somebody else is going to be up here in the booth, but I'm going to be down there on the field and doing remotes. And I'm looking forward to this game as well. This is a really exciting day. It's nice to see even teams at this level and not see blowout after blowout, which sometimes you see where you have really well-developed teams and teams that are just really kind of getting their stride. But the Canyon program, again, I can't say it enough for how much they've developed over the last couple of years on the men's and women's side, and it's going to be really exciting to see the Canyon in the women's final as well.
Folks, your final score for today's game, Canyon has defeated Dino 10-9. They are the 2025 BC Ultimate Open Division champions, and they will look forward to nationals coming up in Edmonton very soon. Now, on behalf of Chris Cannon, Jonah Lee Ash, my incredible crew here at Trickshot, Shahab in the director's chair, Theo doing magic work with the camera, Tano doing magic work with the camera. I am blessed enough to work with the best team in the business, and we cannot stress enough how incredibly grateful we are to all of our viewers tuning in at home, spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Coming up next, it's the women's final. We get the women's edition of Dino versus Canyon, which should be just if not greater than what we just saw. This has been the BCUC live stream presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Find Ultimate programs for all ages and skill levels across Metro Vancouver at VUL.ca. This is Jagraj Lally saying so long from Surrey's Newton Athletic Park. I'll talk to you in just a bit when the women's final between Dino and Canyon is upon us.
Thank you.